So you're tired of making furniture out of all your planks and long planks? Why not make some buckets, barrels, or bathtubs over at the cooperage? But is it a worthwhile investment? Let's find out. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. How's it going, everybody? Driver53 here, and in this video, we're going to see if the cooperage is a worthwhile investment here in Farming Simulator 25. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the spreadsheet. First two columns are your input and the peak easy input sell price. You can see that you've got long planks, and planks are the only two inputs that you're going to be able to have, and the values of those are 42.90 and 58.23. Now these values are on easy economy, and they are per 1,000 liters. They are also the estimated peak prices that you're going to be able to see here for these items now, because you're not going to sell your products at rock bottom dollar. You're going to sell them when they're the most profitable, and that's these values right here. If you're playing on normal economy, you're going to get 60% of the value shown on the spreadsheet. And if you're playing on hard economy, it's going to be 33%. The next two columns that you see here are your input quantity per cycle and your input value per cycle. So on the different recipes, you're not going to be able to put the same amount of long planks or planks into each one. And it's going to vary anywhere from 50 to 170 for your long planks, or from 87 up to 250 on your regular planks. And each of those inputs has its own value based on how many liters there are in the recipe. And that's going to range anywhere from $291.15 all the way up to $1,072.50. The next two columns that you see here are your output and the peak easy output sell price. So you're going to be able to make barrels, bathtubs, and buckets, but you're also going to get wood chips as a byproduct on each one of these recipes. And they're valued anywhere from $16.22 for your wood chips per 1,000 liters, all the way up to $53.40 for your barrels. The next two columns that you see here are your output quantity per cycle and your output value per cycle. Let's take the first recipe. You're going to be able to put 170 long planks in, and you're going to be able to get 250 barrels out along with 60 wood chips. And that's going to be at a value of $1,335 for the barrels and $97.32 for the wood chips. The next two columns that you see here are your cycles per month and the production cost per month. Now, the production cost per month stays the same at $48 per recipe, but your cycles per month does vary anywhere from 24 all the way up to 60. How much revenue can you expect to see if you're running these recipes? Well, it's all the way from about $20,571 all the way up to $39,966. Now, that's the difference between your buckets and your bathtubs, but you also need to factor in your wood chip revenue as well. You're not going to be able to do anything with that wood chips except just sell it. It is additional revenue on top, but I have separated it out here so you can see how much you can expect to sell all of your bathtubs for, or your barrels or your buckets, and then your wood chips as itself. Let's say you didn't want to run one of these facilities and you just wanted to sell your planks or your long planks before you actually do anything with it. How much is that value right there? Well, it's going to be anywhere from about $14,000 on your long planks if you want to consider it in the buckets recipe, all the way up to about $29,000, almost $30,000 if you were considering running the long planks and making bathtubs. You can see there's quite a bit of a difference between your input and your output values. Well, what's the difference? Well, that's where this column right here comes in. It's the additional revenue per month by using the production. And you can see that if you're running the barrel recipe using regular planks, you can expect to make about an additional $8,300 every single month if you were running it through this facility. So it's worth it. But the one that stands out to me the most is if you're running planks and turning it into bathtubs, you're going to be able to make at about an additional $17,000 every single month. Now, that is the difference between the input value and the total output value. Still on the fence if you want to own a cooperage or not? Well, the cost of the facility is going to factor into that. Unfortunately, it's $300,000. It's not one of the cheapest, but it's also not one of the most expensive. And how long is it going to take you to be able to make that money back? Well, it's anywhere from about 6.5 months all the way up to almost a full year. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to run multiple recipes at a time and get your max production because this is a divided production facility. What that means is, let's say your first recipe up there at the top, long planks in 2 barrels. If you run that, you're going to be able to get your max production every single month as long as you have the inputs to keep it running. But as soon as you turn on another recipe, let's say you now want to run planks into barrels as well. Well, now each of these recipes are only going to give you half of the max production that you can expect. How many planks and long planks do you need to keep this facility running? Well, it's going to be anywhere from 2,400 long planks if you're running your bucket recipe, all the way up to 6,000 planks if you're going to run your barrel recipe. And how much volume and output can you expect to see every single month? Well, it's anywhere from about 5,300 liters if you're running your bucket recipe on long planks, all the way up to 7,800 liters if you're making bathtubs out of long planks. And for your wood chips, it's anywhere from 1440 all the way up to 3600. In summary, I feel like a cooperage is a really good facility to own because you can make some really good additional money here. I mean, $16,000 or even $17,000 extra every single month. I mean, there's no small version of this, so unfortunately, you're going to have to buy the big one. But I think it's a really great way to diversify what you're doing with your planks and your long planks, especially if you're already making some furniture. Well, that's going to be it for today, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like if you would. Make sure to hit subscribe and turn on your notifications to keep up to date on my future videos. While you're waiting on those future videos, go and check out one of these two right here. Have a great day, night, evening, everybody. Until next time, this is Driver53 signing off.